Alright guys, we've had a lot of questions about different things that people can do to stretch and strengthen their lower back. So odds are that you've had some sort of an issue with your lower back over the course of your life, and if not, unfortunately, the statistics say that within your lifespan you absolutely will. So that's the negative part of this. The positive thing is there's a tremendous amount that you can do to either remedy if you're currently having issues or to be proactive and try to get ahead of it. So these are incredibly simple. A lot of these things you've probably seen before. Difference being, we need to make sure that we do these consistently. So I put together 10 very simple body weight stretches and strengthening movements that you can do as our introduction to lower back pain. So the first thing, you're going to lie right down on your back and go into knee hugs.
A lot of different ways to do it. In this particular version, we're going to do things unilaterally, meaning you're just going to start on the right side. So I'm going to take my right knee, hug it in towards my right shoulder. All of these stretches, you want to be holding about 20 to 30 seconds as a minimum. Okay? So I'm not going to hold them all for that long just to demonstrate it. From here, you're going to do a hip crossover. So what I like to do is take my left hand on my right knee, rotate that knee towards the ground, trying to keep your right shoulder, elbow, and wrist as close to the ground as you can. You can look back over your right shoulder. So from here, this should stretch your IT band, hip, glute into your lower back. You can extend that top leg. That'll get a little bit more into that IT band. So those two variations on a hip crossover. From there, I'm going to bend back to 90 degrees, come back to center. At this point, I'm going to go into a figure 4 stretch. So left foot on the ground. I'm going to create that figure 4 as my right ankle comes across my left thigh. Right hand threads the needle in between, and then you can either grab your hamstring, or if you have a little bit more flexibility, you can actually go to your shin. Okay, from here, you want to work on getting your head down to the mat as you hold it. Once again, 20 to 30 seconds. After that, we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So I'll go through knee hug on the left, we go with the hip crossover here, I'm going to extend after I held that for 20 or 30 seconds, and then I'll come back up into the figure 4 stretch, boom, on my left side. When I finish with that, I'm going to roll over onto my stomach and go into some press-ups. So a lot of different variations. Once again here, in yoga they'll call it oftentimes a cobra pose. If you do physical therapy for your lower back, PTs absolutely are in love with the press-up. So what this is going to do, it's going to provide you with some spinal extension, because throughout most of our day, where are we located? When you are at a desk, you're here. When you're in a car, you're here. When you go home and you sit on the couch, you're here. So what we need to do is work on extending your spine, giving your discs some room to breathe. So you're going to set up, wrists under your shoulders, take a deep breath to get ready, exhale as you press yourself up. So if your back is really bothering you, you can initiate this in a plank to start to loosen up. Inhale as you come back down, exhale up, and you can hold this for a longer duration stretch if need be. And then to get a little deeper into it, once again, wrists under your shoulders, exhale up, my hips are on the ground, I'm going to work getting my belly button down to the ground. Elbows still in tight to your ribs, inhale, and exhale. Okay, so with this, you can go about 10 nice, slow, steady, smooth reps. Next one is a pigeon pose. So with the pigeon pose, you're going to take your right leg and bring it across. There are a tremendous amount of variations on this. I'm not going to go in depth into it. There are a lot of different resources that you can go into, or at some point we can. But a great way is to come into our yoga class that we've been offering. I've been learning a lot more about this sort of stuff in there. So one of the things you do want to keep in mind, you want to keep that knee bent. You want to keep your rear leg extended. So the taller you are, the easier it is. As you progressively start to work your way down towards the mat, it gets harder. A cool variation that we actually learned this week
that I hadn't done before that's very simple, makes sense. It's like we just did in that press up, is you can get yourself situated and then cycle your way through. So I'm going to bring myself down a little deeper into that stretch and then come back up to relax. So you can do this at 4 reps. Inhale down, exhale up. Obviously you don't have to have that hip down. You can come here. And this is one of those stretches where you can really play with it. Oftentimes with exercises and specific movements, I have a very, I guess, specific way, for lack of a better term, that I want you to move. With stretches, you really can play. Once you get the general concept of it, move around and see where your body is going to feel best. When you finish that, you're just going to switch. Same drill on the left side with your pigeon pose. Supermans, we do these all the time as a warm-up, and it's for good reason. Once again, lots of variations. The basic one, hands up front. Try to get, your fingernails as far away from your toenails as you can get them. Take a deep breath to get ready. Exhale as you lift your hands and your feet, so only your hips are on the ground. Inhale as you gently come back down. Exhale up and inhale down. That's really doing a great job to work your posterior chain. You can start with 10 reps on that. Bird dogs. This is another one. When I first started to rehab my back injury many moons ago, they had me doing a lot of these. So, on your hands and knees, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, nice straight line from your head to your hips. So if you have difficulty with this, you can move one limb at a time to get your balance before you move the other. So let's say right hand comes up, you want to make a nice straight line with your right hand. Once you feel stable, then your left leg will come up. So you want a straight line from your fingernails to your toenails. Inhale as you come back down. And once you start getting the hang of it, you can move both of them simultaneously. So that would be 1, 2, etc. From the bird dog, the downward facing dog. So this is another thing that I've been taking from yoga. I really enjoy it. It does a great job stretching out your posterior chain. Really good with shoulder stability, as in addition to the flexibility piece. Once again, a lot of variations as to how you can do it. I'm not the best at it. Flexibility is not my forte. But you're going to dig the balls of your feet in the ground, drive your hips up to the sky. Once you get up there, drive your heels down to the mat. A lot of different things you can do. You can cycle, one leg then the other, driving those heels down. You can push them both down simultaneously. You can start walking your hands in towards your feet, trying to get that straight line from your hips down to your wrists. I've really been seeing a lot of benefit from that stretch. And then the last two, we're going to come back to our feet. So good morning. This is one of the basic movements that we have people learn as a prerequisite before they go into any other hip hinge. And we do a tremendous amount of hip hinging. Your good mornings, your deadlifts, all your swings, cleaned, etc. All of those different variations have to have a good morning done first. So with that one, feet right about hip width apart, tight abs, proud chest, shoulders back, keeping that neck neutral. I'm going to soften my knees a couple degrees and then push my hips back to the wall. So I'm not so much bending forward at the waist because you'll fall over. Think more about pushing your hips backwards. Inhale down, exhale as you come up. This is doing many things. Some of the primary being, it's forcing you to keep those abs nice and tight, keep your spine braced, and secondarily, it's going to really help to stretch out those hamstrings as you go into that hip hinge. So you don't want to feel any pulling or shooting pain per se. You want to feel a nice, consistent stretch as you perform this. So once again, soften your knees just a few degrees, and then all the movement is at your hips. Your knees stay in that same position. Push your hips back to the wall. Inhale as you go down, keeping that neck neutral, those shoulders back. Exhale as you stand back up. Squeeze your glutes when you come back to the top. That's another little detail that many people miss. So engaging those glutes is key to stabilizing the spine. A lot of people don't think too much about that. And then last but not least, this looks very simple. It's actually a challenging movement to do properly. What we're going to do is start in that bent position. So in that hip hinge. I'm going to soften my knees. I'm going to hinge at the hips. Keeping my neck neutral, so I'm going to be looking 4 to 5 feet out in front of my toes. Keeping my shoulders back, thumbs are facing up the whole time. So bent eyes, Ys, and Ts. I'll start doing them upright so you can see them, and this is a good way to learn it, and then we can progress into the bend movement. So an I is the shape your body makes. making the shape of a capital I. Inhale as I come back down. A Y, we're coming to that 45-degree angle. My body makes the shape of a Y. And the T, we're coming straight out from your shoulders. So really engaging those small muscles up in your shoulders and upper back that we tend to neglect all day long. So really important to ensure that our posture up top is good, because as we let that round, that really puts a lot of unnecessary strain on your lower back as well. So if you have difficulty maintaining your position in that bent posture, absolutely be practicing these upright. You're still going to get some great benefit out of it. Once you get the hang of that, you're going to soften your knees, hinge at the hips, abs tight, shoulders back, deep breath to get ready, nice neutral neck. Exhale as you come up, that's your I. Inhale down, exhale up into your Y. Inhale down, exhale straight out to your T. So 10 very easy bodyweight movements that you can do anytime, anywhere. Once again, I recommend give or take 30 seconds on those stretches as a minimum. A good starting place for the different movements would be 10 repetitions. You can do this multiple times per day as long as your form is on point. There's really very little chance that you're going to injure yourself doing these, so the more the merrier. These are oftentimes things when my back is bothering me, I'll do this before I really get out of bed. Some of these I'll do in bed to loosen up, get out of bed, finish the rest of the series, and then move on. So 10 simple exercises. Let me know how these are working out for you. Do them consistently. That's important, whether your back is bothering you or not. This is a great warm-up, a great primer for activity that you're about to do. And then let me know if you want to advance on these. There's a tremendous amount of other more challenging movements that we can do to spice these things up. So, Eric from Untitled Training, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.